Hi, I'm Alexandra Lloyd, a French Canadian who's called Birmingham, Alabama home since 2017. Welcome to From Where to Here, the podcast that celebrates the rich diversity of languages, cultures, and the stories that connect us all. Each month, I'll sit down with inspiring guests from different backgrounds to explore their cultures, languages, and tackle some fun in our Truth, Dare, or Debunk segment. Whether you're a language enthusiast, a culture lover, or just curious about the world, you're in the right place. Let's dive into your next favorite cultural adventure. Today on the podcast, I'm joined by Juliana Madrid, originally from Colombia. She's been living in Birmingham, Alabama for the past 9 years. What started as a move to the US for school turned into a full life, a career, a home, and a cross-cultural love story. Juliana is now a director of operations in healthcare, leading a team that handles mergers and acquisitions. She's passionate about learning, connecting with others, and sharing her journey of building a life in a new country. She's married to an American. She's got 1 dog, 2 cats, and a heart big enough to hold both Colombia and Birmingham. And she's here to share what it's really been like to make a new life in a new country and to do it all with purpose and joy. Juliana, I am so glad you're here with me today.
Thank you so much. I love that introduction. It was very generous, and I'm excited to be here and telling a little bit about my story, and hopefully can shed some light to others that want to come, or like other people will feel related to it. And I'm excited. Yes. And thank you for having me here.
Of course. And people often ask me, how do you find all these amazing guests that you have on the podcast? Fun fact about us is that my husband works at the same company that you work, and your husband will work at a company that I used to work until kind of recently, if you will. So both couples in the same company's corporate life, how we know it. And that was just kind of interesting that when we find out about this.
Yeah, I was so excited. I was talking to your husband in a team event, and I don't know why he mentioned you work at that company. And I was like, my husband worked there, and you guys were actually planning a trip to Colombia.
Yes.
And I was so excited. And yeah, so we say we have to meet. I have to give you some tips and things. And so that's exciting to find each other.
Absolutely. So before moving to Birmingham, I'd like us to kind of walk us through a little bit. Like, you spent a lot of time with your family in Medellín, which is the city that you're from. What did closeness look like then? And what does it look like for you now? And I'm diving right in with this question because I know that was one of the first things you mentioned to me talking about Colombian and how the aspect of closeness is very different than what Americans, let's say, might look at it from an outside perspective or just in their relationship, but even with family.
Yes. Very different. So Colombian culture has a lot of differences with American culture. And one is like the kids live with the parents for the most part until they get married. So that is changing lately. But, here, American kids go to school, go to college when they are, around 18 and they move out of the house. We don't do that, right? So we go to college, but we stay home unless you go to another city to study, which it wasn't my case. So the city that I come from has great universities. So I stay there, and I live with my parents right before moving to the US. So we live a little bit on top of each other. We're very close. There's not a lot of like personal space and I love it living with them. And it's not uncommon. So when you mention that you were in your 30s and you live with your parents here, everyone was like, oh, really? Why? But this is just the way it is. So it was when I moved here, of course, I miss them. It was hard to me. I didn't know how to cook. I didn't know how to make a soup. And I wish I would have learned when I was living with my parents. They did everything for me. I just worked or went to school or did my thing. And so I had to learn the basic home skills. Mm-hmm. And it was hard. It was really hard. And then you learn to appreciate all the things that you have at home and you sometimes take for granted, right? And now I have a big appreciation for like food in the table, clean clothes, right? Because now I have to do all of that. And I didn't have to do that at that time. I'm still very close with my parents, especially with my mom. My dad passed away 3 years ago. We were very close, all of us. And I talk to my mom every day. I visit her. She visits me. We try to see each other at least twice a year at a minimum. And our relationship evolved for good. Like, I think that having some space between us was good. It allowed me to grow, to be a little bit more independent, to value the things and to enjoy time with her. So when I go there or when she comes here, I really treasure those moments. I really very intentional to not let me bother for like by the small things and enjoy the time that I have with her, because I know it's scarce, right? Like I don't have that opportunity always. So that makes our encounters more meaningful. And yeah, so the independence is also good. It helped me. I'm still bad at cooking. I mean, I'm not. And I was never interested in cooking or learning. I know basics, right? Just something that I enjoy or I'm good at.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Tell me, I'm curious about how did your mom react to thinking you said you were early 30s when you left home, end up getting married. How was it like? Was your mom ready to let go?
Yeah, so that was interesting. So when I started with this idea of going abroad again, because this is not the first time that I was international student, my mom was like, at some point, she was like, yes, go. I never go anywhere. I mean, like, she thought about herself. Like, I never went away. I always live in the same place. Never had the opportunity to study abroad. And so she was very, like, encouraging. And then the next day, she would be, oh my gosh, but you will leave everything. I had a job at that time. I had a condo I was paying for. I had a car. Like, I had a very stable life. I had a job that I love, people that I love. And so she was like, oh, but are you going to leave all of that, sell everything and go? And so, yeah, she was between like, yes, let's do it. Life is now, life is short. And also like, no, but you have a stable life. And I was I kind of like made my mind at that time. And I was like, look, if it's not now, it's never. I mean, it's now or never. Yeah. I'm single. I don't have kids.
Nothing is holding you back.
Yes. And I wasn't planning to live here. Like, the plan was I'm going to go study, get some work experience, and then go home and get another job and move on, right? Because I was thinking I'm going to have a very good English. I will have experience in the corporate world in the US. And then I'm going to go back and I will find a job and everything is going to be perfect. That was my plan.
So that's how you ended up coming to Birmingham.
Yes.
Is you wanted to see something else. You wanted to study abroad and I think perfect your English as well.
That was my purpose. So I worked at that time in a telecommunications company in Colombia, and we were acquired by a multinational. And English became a very important thing in the company. So this holding company that bought us had a lot of executives overseas. English was if you got the big projects, in order for you to get the big projects, you had to speak English. And so that became a big thing for careers. So I got some projects involved with the holding, and my English was okay. Kind of like, I could understand or could say some words, but I couldn't have like an articulated presentation, or maybe I had a thought or something to add to a meeting, but I didn't feel confident enough to say it because I didn't know the correct way.
It's a different challenge.
Exactly.
To speak to someone in the street that you're ordering a second language, but then in the professional world, there's a certain, behavior, but even also the way you present certain things, there's a certain framework that I think you need to follow or at least be aware of so that you can be professional and
it's a different game.
Explain what you want to explain. There might be some industry terms that you have to learn.
Yeah, it's a completely whole different game, right? Yeah. So you hold back on expressing or saying things because you don't know how to convey those things. So that was kind of like the purpose, the impulse that gave me to look up this dream. So when I started thinking about it, I went to see an education counselor in Medellín. So there are different agencies that help you, that guide you. They have like agreements or partnerships with different universities and such. And they gave me different options. So I didn't have a scholarship. Scholarships are not a thing for masters. They are for like doctoral programs, that kind of thing. I wasn't interested in research. I was more interested in the corporate world. I didn't want to go for an English course. I did that in the past. I had the basics. I wanted to do something different. So I knew that I had to do a master's or something more in that line. So I was self-funded. I put all my savings in this dream. And I worked with this agency, and they narrowed it down to 2 options. So the one option was the South Florida University in Tampa and University of Alabama at Birmingham.
Can you share what were your criteria?
Yeah, I think that budget was a big part of it, right? Like I wanted to be, I had to have my tuition covered before I went. I didn't want to be stressed thinking how I'm going to cover for tuition, all that stuff. I didn't want to be in a super high cost of life city, right? Like I didn't look at like Washington, New York, California. That was no, right? Like I needed to be like something that I can afford, right? Comfortably. And when they narrowed it down to those 2 options, I was like, Tampa sounds amazing, but then it's Florida and I will be with all my fellow Latin people, which I adore. But that wasn't the purpose, right? So I
wanted to perfect your English.
Yes.
That was the whole point.
Yes. And Latin people, we're very warm. We connect instantly. So I know I'm going to make friends, and I don't want to be with any other person, and that's not the purpose of this adventure. So you know what? I'm going to go to that Birmingham place that I don't know anything about, but I'm sure that there I will have to speak English, yes or yes. And that's how I choose that. And here I am 9 years after.
What are the odds? Did you ever had a thought that, oh yeah, I might end up staying? Or did you know you wanted to come back to Medellín? Where were you in your headspace at that time?
I mean, everything was a possibility. Like, that wasn't the first thought, right? Like, that wasn't, no, I'm going because I want to stay. No, I'm going because but I did have like a very solid three-year plan, which was like, I'm going to do the program. That was like around 2 years. Then when you're an international student, you have visa that allows you to work a year after your program. So I knew I will have that. So 2 years of program, 1 year of work visa would be like 3 years, and then we'll see what happens. Like probably going home or who knows, right? And yeah, so I ended up staying here for good.
You have been very courageous and taking a leap, getting out of your comfort zone. And I think that's a common theme of when I hear stories, or I mean, if I tie that back to my story, it's like, hey, I want to explore more, or there's something that I'm wanting in my life. In your case, it was to perfect your English, to get in that corporate world, to get more opportunities career-wise. And you really went for it. Like you went all in.
Yes, I did. And yeah, so faith is very important to me. So when I started with this dream, I prayed a lot about it. I asked God, like, if this is not for me, please stop me, that I don't get the visa, because you have to get a different visa. And I had like a tourist visa, but this is a different game. So you have to go and apply for a different visa. I was like, you stopped me, and everything went. I did this in 4 months. Like I started thinking about it like March 2016, and August 2016, I was on a plane.
To come to Birmingham.
To come to Birmingham, yeah. So everything happened.
On that student visa.
Like 4 months. Everything happened really fast. And when I got here, I was like, oh my God, what did I do?
Tell us about it.
Yes.
How was it like?
It hit me like
right away?
Not right away, but I had super weird dreams when the first month, I dreamed like super weird things. I mean, I was in the corporate world already for about 9 years when I came here. So, and I quit my job.
For how long?
For like 9 years. I had 9 years already working in a company, right?
Okay. Another 9 years before the 9 years here.
Yes, yes.
Which 9 years are, okay.
Yeah. So no, like
yeah, you were well established in Medellín.
And I was working.
With your network, with the community, with your family, I mean, whatever.
Yeah,
that's your life there, very well established.
Exactly. So when I went back to, when I came to Birmingham, I was like, oh my God, I don't have a job, right? I mean, I quit it. Like I quit my job, but that like hit me. And I'm a student again. So I went back to the sneakers again, to like jeans every day, backpack, student things. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. What did I do? But then, of course, because it's a new place, but I was very, as you say, like I was into it. So I took it very seriously. I was the best student. I will sit in the front row in every class. I will ask questions, even if professors couldn't understand me at first. Like when I say this has to work. I don't have any job now. I quit. I left everything. I packed my life in 3 suitcases. this has to work, and I had to make it work. And then along the way, I found like amazing people. God sent me amazing angels, and things started to work out, and the plan went. I mean, it did happen as I thought it would. It wasn't as easy as I thought it would, right? Like everything had a lot of work, and then you have to put yourself out there. You have to like look for things, and things are not going to land in your lap, right? Like, so I was the best student. I was in the front row. I went and talked to professors. I started looking for volunteer opportunities at the university. And so I started making connections, because for me, the master was important, but the connections that I needed to build were even more important. And I wanted that this would land on a job at some point, so I could have experience.
That's very smart of you for already going out and doing the things that, I mean, it's uncomfortable because you don't know anyone. And
yes, and you have
so did it work out, those volunteer opportunities, or how did you then get connected for the next step in your life?
Yeah, they did. I mean, UAB had an innovation depot type of place when they did like innovation stuff. So I volunteered there. I was doing like some social media management, and I met people there. That turned out in a small scholarship that I had for one semester, so that paid off. And yeah, so people knew me, and professors, they knew that I wanted jobs and things like that. So that helped. Then the program that I came through, so there is an Into UAB partnership, and I came through that program. That gave me opportunities too. So the first semester, I say, I'm not going to work. I need to study. It was really hard. The first I came to do statistics the first semester after 6 years of not touching a notebook or anything or a book. So
that's hard.
Yeah, my first classes were accounting and finance for managers, economics for managers, and quantitative analysis, which was a statistics course, really hard. And English. I took a semester of English where they taught me how to write. There's some things, the academic writing that you need for university. So, and oh my gosh, it was hard. Like I had to study a lot. Like I was up. I remember that it was a Friday night. My friends made me like a FaceTime call, and they were like having fun and like partying. And I was like here with my accounting and finance book, Friday night, midnight. But, I needed to make it work. First semester, I wasn't interested in jobs or anything, but I did start the volunteer, probably after midterms. Mm-hmm. My brain started getting quicker, and I was going through the chapters easier. And I say, okay, now I can do something on the side. So that's when I started volunteer. And by the second semester, I think that I'm ready to have a part-time job. I think that now your brain gets used to the reading and the workload and all the stuff. So I started as a student assistant with this program that I came with. So I was doing some student assistant jobs. I was orientation for new international students and all that stuff. And through all those people that I met there, I landed an internship in BBVA. So I work with them. It's supposed to be for a summer, but it turned out to be for 2 semesters, and that was great. I mean, I got to work in a bank. I work in marketing. I did more project management for the marketing people and content creation and all of that stuff. So I helped them, and that was great because I got some exposure to the work environment, and I got money that I needed for rent, and I got a car. It wasn't in my
it's hard here without a car.
Yes, and that's something that I didn't realize at that time, right? One thing.
Yeah, what were you living close to campus?
I live in campus for the first 2 semesters, which I loved, and I never had the experience to live in campus because every time that you live in campus, you have to show your ID and everything. And one time that I showed my ID, President saw my driver's license and asked me you're 30 and you live in a dorm? It was shocked. And I was like, yes, and I love it. I wouldn't change it for the world. I walk everywhere. It was just so easy and convenient, but I knew that at some point I need to go to the real world and work and all that stuff. So, there are a lot of things that the agency tells you, but there are these little things that you learn when you land here, right? And one of those is you need a car, right? And so when the time came, I was able to afford one, and then I was able to move out of the campus and do that. And
that was a stepping stone to get into the to what you really wanted. So
Yes.
it's admirable.
I had too many jobs, and then I worked with the university for a year, and then I worked with the program that I came with for like another year. And anyway, so I had a lot of jobs, but I love every bit of it.
And then how long have you been in your current company?
So I've been with them for 3.5 years already. Yeah, I love it. I can't say that is my dream job.
Wow.
Yes, I love it. And
What do you like so much about it?
it's really challenging work, right?
But you love a good challenge.
Yes, but it's really challenging work. Sometimes I joke with my bosses that we won't get Alzheimer's or dementia because we had to think all the time and like solve problems. And I love the people that I work with. I was very lucky to find such amazing people, smart people that challenge me every day, makes me better. And, and they care about you as a person too. And I love that. So it's a little bit of the warmth of Colombia. Another thing that I really value, that embrace me and my Colombian staff. And because I like to joke and I like to laugh. And I say, these projects are hard. So if we don't laugh, it's harder, right? So, and they embrace everything. And so I love it. Like,
They embrace everything about you.
yes.
They accept you how you are.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. So I love it. And when I was looking, I wasn't looking, I got recruited, but when I started in the interview process, every person that I interviewed was like so nice, so relaxed, so laid back, right? And it was also like in the younger side, and I'm very social. And when you come to another country, it is hard to make connections, at least deep connections, right? So I was looking also to get some of those connections at work, right? Like, because I found my husband and his family, and I love him and I love his family, but you cannot put everything on your husband, right? Like, your husband cannot be the answer for all your needs, right? So you need to have your community, you need to have your people as well. And I remember that when I had all the interviews, at the last interview, my current boss asked me, like, okay, you have seen a lot of things, you have talked to a lot of people, why do you want to work here? And I was very honest and very transparent. I was like, everyone seems so nice and so smart. I just want to work with you guys. And right, like, I didn't have this elaborated answer. I just wanted to work in that environment. And I'm so glad I got in. And I've always been grateful for my boss that opened the door for me. And it has been amazing.
Oh, I love that.
Yay.
It's important. You got to find your people.
Yes.
And starting to make new friendships at an age that it's
hard,
not as easy, because you don't get to be in a situation where you will make friends. Like, if you go to school, okay, you have friends from school that just makes sense because, okay, you get along, but also you have the same classes, or you happen to be at the same place at the same time. So you had to
insert myself, right, in those spaces, because there is some similarities between Medellín and Birmingham. They're very different cities. Hey, Leo is here. Hey, Leo. So they're very different cities, but there is an aspect of very family oriented. So in Medellín, for example, when we have this acquisition, we had a lot of people coming from Bogota to live in Medellín. And the people that was already established with a family and moved to Medellín, they loved it. But the ones that were single, they loved it until they didn't, because it was hard. Everyone was very nice and sweet on the weeks, but on the weekends, everyone had already like his circle. In Birmingham is something similar, right? Like, everyone is really with their lifelong friends, right? Like, everyone is already established with their circle. And so you have to create a circle later in life, right? So I wanted a place where I can start slowly building my circle. And I think that's a big aspect of it. I get a lot of like social interaction at work. I have neighbors now that I also have a lot of interaction, so it's great. I still have UAB people that I connect.
Amazing.
Yes.
What place does friendship occupy in your life?
It is very important. I will say my mom is my best friend. We're very close. She's my confidant, but my friends are very important. So I keep my connection with my Colombian friends. Still, every time that I go home, I see them, I miss them. We still keep in contact. There is a group of those that we do like a yearly trip together, and it's fun. But I do also find important here to have someone to go and like talk and laugh, get a coffee, go for dinner, do some like walk or exercise. So that is important. And you have to, relationships are also work investment, right? Like you have to work, right? Like you have to, and that was something, we had a lot of workshops when we were students, and I love those that the program put for us. And they say that, right? Like you have to be consistent, you know, like reach out, don't wait for people to reach out to you, be proactive, go on friends, you have to work for those relationships. And that, I found that to be true. And I think that I feel that I have good connections and I love and I still have part of my love that I have in Colombia. There is a saying, I don't know, that is the love of like knowing and loving people in more than one place.
What is this saying?
It says like that you will never feel complete, right? You're there and you miss here, you're here, you miss there. But that is that is kind of like the fortune of knowing and loving people in more than one place. I don't remember who said that. It's a quote. I have to look at it. And that's how I feel.
Yeah. You're always going to miss someone, or
yes.
There's someone maybe also that's always going to miss you, but you're always going to, it's a little bit, it reminds me about the view that we have about home. Like what is home to you? After going through moving to another country, do you feel more home here? Do you feel more home there? There's that new connection with people that you love, people that you care about, but also memories that you've made and that you're still making. So what is home?
That is a great question. And I still, when I say I'm going to Colombia, sometimes I feel I'm going home, right? Yeah. And it feels, I mean, if you think about it, I've been here 9 years, but I was there like 30 years. There is a lot of like deep connections still in Colombia. I mean, there is something so strange that I feel when I land in Colombia. And then when the pilot says, welcome to Medellín, this is something I cannot explain. It makes me emotional a bit because it's still home. But this is my home too here, right? Like and I think that we talk of the amazing people that I found here. When I was looking for all these internships and work, I remember that and the time that I didn't have a car, when they knew that I was Ubering, they were like, oh my God, we're going to give you a ride back to campus. Make sure that who does that? Nobody, right? My mother-in-law, Mother's Day, she gives me this big hug because she knows that I'm probably missing my mother. And when my mom leaves, she calls me and say, hey, I don't want to take the place of your mother, but I know that you have a mother in the United States, right? And that's beautiful, right? And so Birmingham has us, even though home is really there. I will say that I have two homes, and this is starting I will say that I have two homes, but there is a lot of history, connection, and my parents are sacred to me. And see them age has been the hardest thing I have to face in life. My dad went through cancer, and that diagnosis rocked our world. It was hard. And even though we were very lucky because we had great years with him, the last 2 years seeing him decline was just hard. And so there is a special thing in connection with that. With Colombia and with the country. And I don't know, when I was working at BBVA, I remember that I packed lunch, so I was eating lunch at the cafeteria, and then I hear someone speaking Spanish but with a Colombian accent, and it's something that it goes into your body and you cannot ignore it. And I turn around and say, oh my God, you're from Colombia. And he was, of course. And since then we started eating lunch every day, and it's just something. I see the flag and it's just, I don't know, it's your roots. It's something, it gives you the goosebumps. It is. I remember that another day I saw a long time ago, I'm kind of crazy sometimes. And I saw this lady driving here in Birmingham, and she had a Colombian flag in her rear mirror. And I saw it through the thing, and I have this urge, and I didn't even think about it. I just put my window down and say, I'm Colombian too. And she looked at me and she laughed. But we were driving, so never, bye. Yes, never see her again. I don't know if she see me right. It's just this thing where you come from stays with you no matter where you go. And I'm glad that it is like that, because I feel very lucky and proud to be who I am.
As you should.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for sharing that. So now I'd like to understand a little bit about blending two families. We talked about the different cultures, one from Medellín and one from Birmingham, blending these two, because it sounds like its own cultural adventure. What's that been like for you both, meaning your husband and yourself? Any funny or surprising moments from family gatherings that really stand out?
Yeah, no, it's been a journey, of course. Jason is my husband, and we, even though come from different cultures, we found that we share a lot of the same values. And we share a lot, and our upbringings were very similar, like both come from like families, very like stable families, parents married for a long time. We had siblings, we fought with the siblings, everything. I mean, it was the same. We very similar childhoods. My in-laws, I cannot describe how amazing they are. Like, they embraced me day one. They loved every bit about Colombia. They've been there already, and that was an amazing time. I have two sisters-in-laws that I love, and so they're very sweet, not only to me, but to my family. So my parents came first time, and I think it was for graduation. I think that was the first time they came. I'm not sure.
Your graduation?
Yes.
From UAB?
Yes, from UAB. That was 2018. Maybe earlier. I don't remember if they came earlier. So they met my in-laws. We were not married at that time. And they met my in-laws, and they loved each other. So my mom or my parents, they don't speak English. My in-laws, they don't speak Spanish, so they cannot understand each other.
I didn't even think of that, but yeah,
Yes.
that's important.
Yes, so they don't understand each other. They just laugh all the time. And they just laugh all the time. They just pick up words, and they laugh, and they make it work, and they have fun. So you will see my mom and my mother-in-law laughing. They can understand each other, but they laugh. And same with my dad. So we have tried everything. We try like Google Translator, and it works until you put it in different language. I mean, right? Parents, sometimes they don't know how to work phones and all that stuff. So, oh my God, this is not working. Oh, this is so slow. So they tried that. It didn't work much. There was my mother-in-law got like another device that she took to Cartagena, and that was hilarious because she will say something, the thing will repeat in English, and we will be all now fighting for that thing because the way that it translates is funny. And yeah, so we tried that route. I remember my mom came here, and at what time my husband and I went on a trip. My mom stayed at the house, taking care of the cats and everything, and my mother came like several days a week to check on her. They got in the pool together. They went for dinner. They went for lunch. They got their nail done. I mean, they went to the nail appointment together. They just laugh and they just have a good time. My mother-in-law's driving fast. My mom is like, yeah, like with the hands, right? Or they say happy, they say beautiful, they say caramba, which is a word that my mom uses a lot, and they pick it up. And
What is caramba?
Caramba is like great, or like
Caramba.
no, it doesn't have like any meaning, but my mom uses like to say, like to express like wow kind of thing, right? And so they say that, and that's how that works. Say my brother, he knows a little bit more English, but not a lot, and he lived with my in-laws for 2 weeks when helping them work in the lake house that they bought and all that stuff. And they had, I mean, my father-in-law and my brother became besties. They don't know. They cannot understand with language, but they make it work, and they laugh, and they love each other. Still, the languages haven't improved any to the point, but they love each other and had a good time. And we take a trip every Thanksgiving together. So it's like
The two families?
the two families together. It's like a tradition now. Like
good.
so we go somewhere for Thanksgiving, all of us. We always have a great time.
Do the siblings or like your in-laws, are they also married and they join, or is it just your two families?
Yes, so I have two sister-in-law that come, and the boyfriends come along, and my brother has a girlfriend, and the girlfriend comes, and so we're all friends and get along and have a good time.
Very nice.
Yes.
That's a great idea. Does the location always change, or is it always the same place?
It changes. So we went to Cancun last year. We're going to Punta Cana this year. We went to Blue Ridge, Georgia a couple of years ago, to the mountains and things. We went to Colombia once.
Okay.
So yes, we always go somewhere that is try to be like in the middle so we can meet and have a good time. And yeah,
Great. I love that.
good.
So you, just continuing on that topic, you and your husband you have built such a full life, like career, love, your home, you have a dog, two cats.
Yes.
And at some point you decided not to have kids. What was that journey like for you? Especially coming from a culture where that can feel like a big deal what do people tend to get wrong about that choice? And is there a question you wish they asked instead of, so when are the kids coming?
I mean, personally, I love kids. I love babies. I think that they're beautiful. I don't know why I didn't have like the profound desire to be a mother. Like maybe I didn't have that clarity, right? Like I knew I wanted to be married. Like that's something that I really knew. I wanted a partner to share life with, to go on trips, to build life with always. But I never knew or was 100% sure I want to be a mother. In Colombia, and I talked to friends about it and we laughed. I don't know, like I grew up in a Catholic school. So there is a lot of like, don't get pregnant when you're a teenager, right? Like parents like, be careful, don't get pregnant. And there is a lot of like, and I think that got into our brain, like that would ruin your life. Because I mean, when you're a teenager, right? Like, and
Getting pregnant too early.
Exactly. That's what they meant.
Sure.
And also I did have to see my mom working and being a mom at the same time. And that was hard. And I see her in conversations with her friends like, oh my God, yeah, that raising kids is hard. So I don't know, I never had like that desire or that clarity. I have friends that they knew immediately. Yes, I want to have kids. I did not have that clarity. So when Jason and I were dating, he felt the same way. Kids were not a priority. And if you think about when we got married, we were like in our mid-30s. And so we were kind of like later in here in Birmingham, especially people still get married young.
Yeah.
Very young. In Colombia, not that much, but here young. So I think that I was 33 when I got married. Jason was 35. So it was kind of like, it was strange for a 35 to be single. Very common in Colombia. Here, not that much. So when we got married, we were in our mid-30s, but we didn't want to, we didn't know about, kids was like question mark, more like on the no side. And I came from a lot of trying to find my place after all of these years of changing jobs, finding my way. So kids were not like in my first. And then the clock is ticking. So, and 5 years went so fast. And we never felt like we were missing it. Or there were a couple of moments when my dad died and when Jason's grandmother passed away. We did ask ourselves the question, are we going to be very lonely in when we're older? Should we have a kid? But those are not the reasons why you have a kid, right? Second, were those like emotions that came and went really fast. So it wasn't something that was very heavy in our minds. And we reach a point that I say, I think that we like our life. There is another ways to also, in my case, to be influenced in other people's life that not necessarily through motherhood. And I do a lot of, in my teammates, in the people that I lead, I like to pour into them. And sometimes they even call me Mama Juli. And then they joke, yeah, right, because I pour into them, I care about them, I take my leadership role really seriously. I do think that is more important than, I think that, yes, I'm helping them on their projects, but also I hope that I'm making an impact on their lives. And when they look back and they remember me, they have a smile on their face and say, oh my God, that was a good time. Or she helped me in this or in that. And so I think that I love my work. I spend a lot of time at work. And I think that kids were not part of the question. Now, I have my neighbors. They have two beautiful, they had a 3-year-old and like a 10 months old. And every time that I'm there, I want to hug Patrick and hold him. And it's so cute. But then I go home and I forget about it. And I see a baby and I was like, oh my God, they're so cute. I want one. But then I go home and I forget about it. So
it's such a personal choice. And,
yes.
And thank you for sharing your thought on it, because I think it's underlooked. And I have never met a couple that by choice don't have kids and is unhappy. Never. These are sometimes the happiest couples.
Yeah, I do think that if you have kids, you will love them, and I don't think that you will regret them, right? And again, if you don't have them, I don't think that you will regret them. Maybe. I haven't, right? Who knows, maybe in 20 years or so. But again, there is ways for you to help others, or of course, it's a different role. But I think that if we were to have it, I think that we will love them and be happy. We don't have them and still happy and good. So I think that either way. Also, we had a lot of support from our families. My parents never pushed that decision on us or right? I think, and same my in-laws. I remember my mother-in-law telling me I don't need grandkid to I will love on you and Jason and Ari and Taylor. And if we were to have one, she will love the grandkids. So I think, I don't know. It never happened to us. We intentionally were kind of more like, no, I think that was good. There is another, in last thing on this one, it takes a village, right? Like raising kids, you need the support, you need and for me, again, like my mom is not here. I don't have a lot of family around. Know that you're going to put your kids on, but it is important, right? Like have your siblings, family, and also that's something that stopped me, right? Like, because it takes a village, you need support and
like, okay, I wonder about this. Like, do you think having some of your family members will help keep your culture alive in your household?
Oh, definitely. Absolutely. Because I live in Colombia for a long time. I am who I am, right? Like there are some, I have changed. I notice that, right? But there's so many things that I bring, but you start like getting used to other things here. So when my mom comes, then I get more, or when my brother is here, or when family visits, I feel more motivated to do the Colombian things and cook the Colombian food and have the Colombian traditions. When I'm by myself, sometimes, but I'm like, it's okay, right? So yes, if I were to have more people, of course, that would be easier to keep. And
yeah, definitely. And going back to what you were sharing about how they call you Mama Juliana at work sometimes, and you transpose to others your caring side. Do you think what you described is a way for you to express motherhood? In the sense that motherhood is not necessarily having children of your own, that motherhood is not having children of your own, but rather a presence that you offer to others, whether it's at work, whether it's through volunteering or other aspects of your life. It kind of made me think of that. Is that how the situation, how you would describe it?
Yes, some of it. Like you cannot say, oh, I can be a mom. I mean, being a mom is an amazing thing, and I have so much respect and admiration because I think about my boss, I think about my mom, I think about my neighbor. They work, they have kids, they do it all, right? So I will never compare like, oh, that's the same. No, but I still I'm not a mom, but doesn't mean that I cannot care for others, help influence others, be a person for others in another ways, right? So I think about my teammates at work and the people that I lead, and so they are all remote. Sometimes they travel to Birmingham, and I want to like, let me know when you made it home, right? Like have a safe flight, that kind of thing. I strive to give them a good time in Birmingham and that kind of thing. So that's why they're like, are you okay? Checking on them and that kind of thing. And because I work, we work on projects, but we all do life together, right? And things happen, right? Like things happen at the family level, house, and then you are a ear there and you share your stories and you share perspective, and sometimes you have to do tough love too, right? And that's a way that I can put my care inside on others and pour onto others and make an influence, not to the level of a mom, but be a good influence for others and without being a mom.
Yes, absolutely. And I was tying this simply because we were on the topic of motherhood and not having, but I mean, you can also, I think, experience all of these and be caring of others without tying that into the motherhood. But I think on that topic, it seems to be your way of having that caring aspect of you translating in other areas of life. So
yeah. I have aunts that they were not mothers, but they pour into my cousins a lot, right? Like I have 2 aunts or 3 aunts that they did not have kids, and I do have some cousins that are younger than I, and they pour onto them and they are mothers to them. So when we celebrate Mother's Day at home, we celebrate them too because they are like mothers. And yeah, there's an aspect that, there's another example how you can do motherhood through others even when you don't have kids on your own.
Yeah, I like that. Do you get that question a lot? Earlier I asked you, what would you rather people ask you instead of saying so, or does it not?
I don't.
Because everyone kind of knows that and respect that and honor you and love you unconditionally.
Yes.
And it's just like, hey,
this
is the choice we've made.
Yeah, and I don't get that question a lot.
Good. That's good.
No, I don't.
Because you never know what people go through too, maybe. Yeah. But if you've made it clear to your family, this is not our priority, this is not how we want to move forward in our life, then they know. But I think of couples that try to have kids and they don't, and they get asked all the time, that would be irritating.
Yes, no, but I don't. I do have that question a lot from my brother.
Yeah. He's like, I want to have little
Yes. But yeah, he's like, but no, and I remember that was a time we were somewhere and there were like a bunch of kids and say, no, but you have to have one. But it was more like, and that was funny, we laughed and I was like, no, maybe you had to have one. And then and so we laughed. But no, I don't get that question a lot. Yeah. And I think that, no.
Okay, that's good. Let's switch gears and let's do a fun game called Truth, Dare, or Debunk. For each round, you'll choose either a truth where you share surprising cultural fact, a dare like teaching me a phrase in your favorite language, in this case Spanish, or a debunk where you clarify a common stereotype about your culture, about the Colombian culture. So truth, dare, or debunk?
Dare?
Dare to teach?
Yes.
What would you like to teach me?
Right. We have a lot of expressions in the Spanish. And there is, I think that's the most, which is no dar papaya. No dar papaya, which is don't give chances for others to take advantage of you. And I actually have a friend, she's American and she's right in Colombia right now. She's visiting. Nice. And she texted me that. Like, I don't know what happened. And she's saying, don't give papaya. I was like, no, dar papaya, which is...
No dar papaya?
Yes, which is like an example. Like, don't go on your own late in the street, right? You're putting yourself out there.
What would it sound like in Spanish with that context?
No dar papaya, like, no de papaya. Or like you leave your wallet there. Put yourself, I don't know.
You just say no dar papaya?
No dar papaya. O dio papaya. Like, oh, I did this and this happened. Of course, se dio papaya.
You set yourself up for...
Yeah, exactly. Like you did not help yourself and you gave the opportunity to be taken advantage of. Okay. That's kind of like that means.
Okay.
I don't know if
that's really good. I like that. Do you like papaya? Eating papayas?
I do.
Are these popular in Colombia?
Yes, yeah? Yes. And my mom loves them. Yeah.
Okay, let's do another round. Round 2. Truth, dare, or debunk?
True.
Truth. What's one thing that is actually true about your culture? Maybe a surprising fact or something that people think is true and actually is true.
Colombians know how to party.
They know how to party.
Yes, everything is a party. We know how to throw a party. And
what makes a good party?
Dancing, music, aguardiente.
Oh, okay. Now, just for the visual listeners, I need to show you. We still have the bottle once.
Oh, yay. Okay. Yes. Now we're talking. Yes.
Now we're talking?
Yes. Now we're talking. Yes. I don't like aguardiente that much, to be honest with you.
Okay.
So strong for me, but yes. So aguardiente, music, dancing, food. Yes. So we Colombians know how to party.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's the truth.
That. What kind of music?
Everything. Salsa, merengue, reggaeton, pop. Everything. Vallenato, more in the coast. Vallenato. Yeah, it's a little bit of everything.
Let's do another round. Round 3, truth, dare, or debunk?
Debunk.
What's a common stereotype about Colombia as a country?
Not every time, but the majority of times they will think about, oh, Pablo Escobar, or like the narco shows, because that's what Netflix is about, or drugs, right? So Colombia is more than that, right? Like it's their food, it's their people, it's their music, their artists, their landscape. So it's coffee, more than it's aguardiente, but it is not only that.
Let's do another truth, dare, or debunk.
Another truth.
Or which one would you pick?
Truth.
Truth? Okay. So what's something that people say about Colombia that is true?
I will say people really warm. I mean, every time, and we're everywhere. Like every time that I talk to someone at work, I know a Colombian, or I know someone that is married to a Colombian, or I know this or that. And everyone has good things to say about Colombians. We are very welcoming. We're very warm. We're very friendly. Never met a stranger type of thing.
I found that too. Traveling to Colombia, we went to Cartagena, and that was with my Colombian friend. They really did everything to make us feel comfortable, and Sam was really happy that they were with us. And having people come to him begging for things, and that happened a little bit while we were in Cartagena.
Absolutely.
Because we don't look like the majority of the people there. And I remember her brother actually welcomed us. He waited for us at the airport in Cartagena, waiting for arrival to take the cab so that we don't get taken advantage of for the transportation to our hotel. So, and that was just super nice. And they all welcome us with open arms, and one of them. So
yeah, I'm glad. But yeah, that's how Colombians are. And that's how we are. Very welcoming and warm. And we want you to have fun. And yes, and we want that you don't get taken advantage of, especially in very touristy areas. Yes. That happens.
Let's do one more. Truth, dare, or debunk? Which one?
I don't know if I have another debunk. Maybe truth.
Truth? Okay, what's a fact about Colombia that people think is true and it is?
That we eat Mexican food all the time.
Oh, so it's a debunk.
Yes, okay, debunk. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's not true.
It's not true.
Colombians don't eat Mexican food all the time.
Yeah, there is a lot of misconception about all the countries in South America eat tortillas and tacos. That's Mexican food to us too, right? Like that's no, yeah. So people will think like, oh, do you eat tacos and tortillas for breakfast, lunch? No, we don't. Like that's no. A lot of people believe that Mexican food is the food that all South America eats. And that's not true. And for us, that is not part of our diet. We do have Mexican restaurants down there, yes, but it's not part of our diet. And so that's why everyone thinks like, so it's funny because when we go to a Mexican restaurant or something, people may think that, ask me about like, what is this? And I was like, I don't know. Like, what is this thing? And I was like, no idea. Because I think that Mexican food or Colombians eat Mexican food or everything is Mexican food in South America.
And it's true that tortillas are like widely consumed among Mexicans, or like that's something you can have for breakfast, for lunch, or as a snack, right? With different things in it, I think, different toppings and so on. Is there a typical breakfast?
Yeah, at least in Medellín.
Medellín, what is it?
Arepas.
Arepas. Oh, we had arepas.
Yes, that is our thing.
Can you explain for people that might not be familiar with what that is?
Yeah, so it is like it's corn based. It is thicker than a tortilla, right? And it's a little bit crunchier, but it's made from corn and you eat it with anything. And so you can eat it like typically in breakfast, you eat it with like cheese and butter and with eggs, right? And that's kind of like the typical breakfast, like eggs and arepa and cheese. But you can put pretty much anything on top of arepa. And also you can have it for dinner.
Oh, shoot. Is it an Amber Alert?
I think so.
Today's episode is brought to you by Red Cat Coffee House and their Landmark Series coffees. As a cat lover, I could not resist but introduce you specifically to this blend called Light Rails. It features a cat on the label. But not only that, each blend features a landmark, is inspired by a landmark of the city. This one is inspired by our vibrant Rainbow Tunnel downtown, and it has sweet fruits and mixed berries. You can find the Landmark series, including blends like Ironworks, Full Steam Ahead, Alabama Audubon, and Johns Valley Trail, either online, at Red Cat locations, or your local Piggly Wiggly. It's coffee with a story, and even with a feline charm. And that wraps up our Truth, Dare, or Debunk. Thanks for playing along, Juliana.
Of course.
All right, Juliana, we have a little something called From Here to You, where we bring in a question from one of our listeners for you to answer. This one comes from Joyce.
Oh, nice.
How did you navigate the culture shock when you first moved to the US? And how do you still make sense of those cultural differences today, especially through your Colombian roots?
I love that. Yeah, I think how I navigated cultural shock, trying to be open. We always tend to think that the way that we think something is the right way, or the way that we do something is the right way, right? Because this is how we were taught or like we learn, right? So being a little bit open, trying to remain positive and being willing to get out of yourself a little bit and seeing, I think always looking the good in the situation and just having growth mindset or like open mindset for the things that are not familiar or maybe not the way that you were expecting or the way that you will do it. The second question was more about...
Oh, such good advice. Well, how do you still make sense of those cultural differences today, especially through your Colombian roots?
Okay, so there is something about Colombians. So we grew up in a very difficult political and environment, right? All the story, and so we had to keep going and try hard, and so we have such a resilience because we always live in the middle of or war or crime or violence, right? And we still had to go out and work and do life. So we have this saying that maluco también es bueno, like when it's bad, it's also good, right? Like try to find the good in everything. So I think Colombians are very resilient. So when there is something that it doesn't make sense and the thing that I think about, I always try to like, this is good too. This goodness always coming from XYZ situation, right? So I always try to just look at the goodness. I have so many things in my head right now. It's the way that the perspective that you put, right? Like, or you make a big deal of it, or you just like find the good and move on, right? So it depends on the attitude that you take in life. So you make a big deal, or you make fun of the moment, or it's your choice. Like, you cannot change a situation sometimes, but you can change the attitude that you take to approach it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
Person.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, it's all about your perspective.
Yes.
Of the situation.
And their attitude or
You have to do.
exactly. So you only can do so much, right? Like, you only can control so much. So when you cannot control a situation, it's the way that you're going to feel about it. I'm going to complain and cry forever, or I'm just going to move on or make the best of it. And my dad was very like, and my mom, both of them, they are very wise. And my dad was the type of person that he liked everything. He didn't have any problem with, of course, he wasn't perfect or better, but he always like didn't dwell a lot in the negative. He's just, okay, that's fine, and move on. And my mom is positive, like really positive, very wise, and we have lived through a lot of things. And I think that, I mean, you lost someone, or when you see someone going through a disease like cancer, or when you just then get perspective on what is really important and what is really a big deal, and what is just like, I shouldn't make my life miserable just for this thing, or that kind of thing. I don't know if that makes sense.
That's a perfect way to end the From Here to You segment. Mm-hmm. Now, what's one Colombian tradition or custom you think more people should know about or try?
So we have a lot of traditions. I will say New Year's is a big thing, right? Like, we always try to make, of course, everyone makes resolution, but like New Year's is a really special time to be thankful and grateful and reflect on the good things that you receive and in the year, and then like prepare yourself. So we like to dress up a little bit, right? Like, we wanted to look cute in New Year, so the New Year is going to receive you in a good spirit. And yeah, so it's a big deal. So we do have and again, this is more like traditions, and for at least for me, for fun, we have like the grapes for luck and the lentils for abundance. Like, we have a little bit like traditions or rituals, or we write down the wishes for the next year. And so it's a big deal, and we spend that with people we love, like with family. It's a very familiar day. For example, here New Year's is more like go and have fun with the friends. There is more like, no, I don't want to be, you want to be on that with the people you love. And of course it's party, because everything is party in Colombia. It has meaning of a year is a really long period. A lot of things happen in a year, right? And your life can change a lot in a year. It's a moment like to be together, to hold on to the people you have in your life, to be thankful and be hopeful for what is about to come in the new year.
What do you do with the wishes that you write?
No,
Is it for yourself?
Yes.
To share with others?
No, for yourself, or you make a toast. And yeah, it depends, right? Yeah, so I had to bring a little bit of that into my marriage, because
more.
Yes, because Jason was more like, oh, New Year's, like, no, it's cold, we don't want to do a lot. And I was like, no, I refuse to be in pajamas. I don't know, like, no, I love being lazy and I love pajamas, but for New Year's, no. Because now lately my mom and sometimes family, last year we had family over and it was great, but when it's the two of us, we try to make it special. So or we do something nice, we go somewhere, but at home we make a toast, we say a prayer, we say thanks for the things that we received, and we ask for the new year. It's kind of like a beautiful moment, and I try to bring those things from my culture to our relationship.
I love that.
Yeah.
Good for you for holding to that tradition of yours that you want to keep doing, because it's easier to let it go.
Yes, it is 100%.
Like you said, like it's you advocating for the Colombian culture to continue to be present in your life, and that seems to be an important piece of it. So I'm glad you're able to hold on to it and also share with others.
Yes, there was a year that we made a party at home. Like we said, let's do a party, and we stay awake until midnight, and we say Happy New Year. I mean, it's important. It's a big thing in Colombia, and I bring that to here too.
Very nice. And is there a special food memory from home that always makes you feel nostalgic that is more dear to your heart?
I love food, so everything is dear to my heart.
Everything.
Yes, but anything bread, like queso, almojábana, buñuelo, anything, cheese and bread. Yeah, thank God. I mean, I love plantains too, but I can get it here, so that's good. It's easier to get the food. It wasn't, I mean, I think that long time ago, it wasn't that easy. Maybe what I do is like my mom's cooking, right? Like when I try something that she made, that gives me like soups.
There's
Yeah.
kind of soup. What's
Like
her
vegetable
top recipe? Soup recipe.
Yeah, no, like vegetable soup. She cooks a very good vegetable soup and beans. So when I have like my mom's cooking, it's like, oh my gosh, I love it.
Vegetables and beans?
No, like beans is another.
This is another soup.
Yeah, but like vegetables and that kind of thing. I love soups, and that's the things that I miss more about food.
Do you add some type of short pasta in your vegetable
Yes,
soup?
yes.
Before we come to an end, I still would like to ask you, if you could bring one thing from Colombia to Birmingham, besides your people, what would it be?
One thing that I can bring from Colombia, fruits.
Which fruit?
I miss it. I mean, I miss the fruits like mangoes, and I mean, I can get that here, but there is just something special about the fruits that we got down there, and I don't know. That's
Do they taste more authentic?
maybe
Is there
yes.
something in the taste, or is it the action of going to the market and getting them? And
No, they taste different, right? Like I don't know. I cannot think about something specific, but what came to my mind was like the fruits, the mango beach.
do they grow in Colombia?
Yes. So I think that's what I think that I miss, but I don't know. I mean, now it's pretty easy to get things, but that's something that can come to my mind.
So mangoes and papayas? No. What are some?
Mangoes. Yeah, yes, mangoes,
Okay. Are
yes.
they the large ones or the small ones?
They want that green. No, the ones that are like ripe, but green.
Oh.
So they're more like tart. They have like a tart flavor, and you eat it with like salt and lemon. That I miss. Yeah, that's good.
I
Yes,
haven't had that.
the ripe is sweeter. This one, the green, is more tart. It has like a more sour taste.
So is it the regular mangoes that are not yet
Yes.
ripe? Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and
Okay, I thought it was a completely different type of mango.
it's just like green, and it's not ready. So it's hard there, but it is. And when they become ripe, they're sweeter and softer. But I really like the ones that are not ripe.
Is
The
it
mango
difficult to eat them
Yes,
like that?
very. Yes. And they sell it in the street with like lemon, and in Cartagena they sell it a lot.
Yeah, I've seen those. Okay,
Yes.
but I didn't realize it was a unripe mango.
Yes.
So salt and
Lemon.
juice.
Mm-hmm.
Lemon or
Well, that's the thing. For us, lemons are limes and limes are lemons. Like the lemon is the green
yes.
for us, right? And the lime is the yellow. Here's the opposite. So every time that I say, okay, I want lemon, I take a lime. Jason like, that's not a lemon. He says, yes, that's a lemon.
So for Americans, what you said, it's in reality lime juice. But for you,
It's lemon juice. Yes. Yes.
very cool. I love that. And lastly, where can listeners connect with you?
Yeah, I mean, they can connect with me through Instagram, and yeah, I'm happy to share my story, or if anyone is interested to come into the US and navigate work and study and life, happy to share a little bit of my story.
Well, that's very generous of you. Juliana, muchas gracias
Gracias a ti.
for sharing your journey. I appreciate it. And if you're inspired by today's guest, make sure to follow From Where to Hear Pod everywhere on all social, and From Where to Hear everywhere you listen to your podcast. And in the meantime, keep exploring. Thank you for tuning in to From Where to Hear. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who loves discovering new cultures. Follow us on Instagram at From Where to Hear Pod for exclusive updates, behind the scenes moments, and a peek at upcoming guests. Until next time, keep learning, keep connecting, and keep celebrating the beauty of languages and cultures. À bientôt!